everyone, this is Valerie Arroyo with my Video Ignite presentation for LSC 531 on transforming teaching and learning through the use of social media in high schools. I was motivated to explore the use of social media because of David Lanke's Trusting the Internet, New Approaches to Credibility Tools. And one passage in particular that really grabbed my attention was this one. If society wants youth to be truly able to make credibility decisions in digital networks, then youth must understand the technical nature of the network itself, from the use of the tools to the creation of the tools. Simple use skills, such as browsing the web, are insufficient to truly understand the role tools play in the credibility of Internet information. Furthermore, if schools and other institutions prevent youth from participating in the underlying infrastructure, they are limiting youth's ability to resolve the information self-sufficiency paradox, and therefore limiting youth's ability to learn about and act upon credibility. This argument is radical, yet entirely logical at the same time. And implicit to this argument is the idea that there is an interrelationship between consumption and the creation or production of knowledge, that they are two sides of the same credibility coin, and participation is fundamental to understanding and consuming information. Lanke's argument is more about the social components of knowledge creation and production, and what Michael Wesch calls a social revolution, not a technological one, explaining its most revolutionary aspect may be the way in which it empowers us to rethink education and the teacher-student relationship in an almost limitless variety of ways. Yet, as another of the leading luminaries this semester, Francis Jacobson Harris, tells us, schools as public institutions provide stability, continuity, and scalability in our society, but their conservative nature can inhibit growth and development. This suggests a tension between formal institutional education and the more informal modes of participation and learning taking place in new media environments. Consequently, my research takes a look at the structural and philosophical barriers to integrating social media use into teaching and learning in a high school setting, and also explores the existing research on the use of social media in formal and informal learning environments. Structural barriers. Although the rise of interactive Web 2.0 tools to facilitate dialogue, exchange, and connect communities of users may be more significant in terms of social and cultural impact, basic access remains the most fundamental barrier to leveraging these tools in U.S. schools. According to a survey conducted in 2013 by the Consortium for School Networking, only 39% of school districts have enough internet bandwidth to meet their current needs. And even if schools have the bandwidth they need to integrate social media into teaching and learning, many schools outright ban social media or severely restrict its use. In response to concerns about student access to pornography, Congress enacted the Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA, in 2000, requiring schools that receive discounted internet service through the E-rate program to block or filter student access to harmful materials on the internet. Although the FCC revised its policy on social media in relation to CIPA in 2011, making it clear that schools and libraries do not have to block these kinds of sites, there is still a lot of confusion about what CIPA does and does not require. In addition, many schools tack on acceptable use policies, further restricting student access to technology beyond the requirements of the law. Philosophical barriers. The Digital Youth Project findings examining the participation of young people in new media environments suggest certain tensions and philosophical differences that make integrating social media into the classroom difficult. In contrast to new media environments explored in the Digital Youth Project, which are open, freeform, and flexible, public schools structure their mission, curriculum, and standards toward achieving predefined learning goals and objectives. Not only do predefined learning goals and objectives impose institutional conceptions of what constitutes learning, contradicting the idea of student-centered learning and diminishing student agency in shaping the learning agenda, but also raise questions about the compatibility of traditional institutional learning goals and objectives with a new paradigm of knowledge creation and learning, and the self-directed, exploratory, open-ended, and interest-driven engagement of young people in new media environments. In looking at how formal educational institutions have integrated Web 2.0 tools and social media applications in the classroom, some scholars suggest our hyper-focus on the technology constrains our definition of information literacy and limits our ability to leverage greater sociological and pedagogical changes as a result of the new information paradigm of knowledge creation and learning. McLaughlin and Lee note a gap between enacted and espoused pedagogies of teachers, both face-to-face and in online environments. On one hand, many teachers espouse student-centered and constructivist approaches to learning, but on the other hand, these same teachers deliver e-content in ways that repackage and reinforce traditional models of learning that position student as information consumer. Research attempting to provide a holistic view of social media applications and adoption for instructional purposes in a K-12 setting are non-existent. Luo used surveys and semi-structured interviews to examine the adoption of Web 2.0 tools in information literacy instruction, and 2% of respondents were high school librarians. Her study found that the vast majority of IL instructors used Web 2.0 tools to deliver content, while a smaller number used these tools to demonstrate concepts. These are hardly uses that could be seen as placing students in control of their own learning. In my paper, I also discuss 2 studies exploring the use of blogs in a much more effective and student-centered approach, and suggest that a lot of exciting and innovative examples of using social media in the classroom exist. I also suggest the real value of social media for teaching and learning is to provide a bridge between formal and informal learning, and in offering another channel, making institutional learning more flexible, open, and motivating students toward more self-directed learning and engagement through the power of choice. In this model, peer-to-peer or peer networks play an increased role in learning, and students are just as likely to be teachers. And the school library media specialist plays an important role as generalist and facilitator of conversations. And so that is my video Ignite.